Hello, today I'll be talking about pre-production, which is part 1 of 3 of the production phase in filming and TV. So I'll be talking about developing, location and scripting. So here's the breakdown sheet of the film that I plan to create. This is the breakdown sheet, which is each scene is broken down and what stunts, props, extras, wardrobe and makeup and hair and so on is going to be in it. So, and description of the scene and what's the scene name and so on and so forth. And who's directing, which is obviously me, and I've done this document around nearly 2 years ago now. And this is the code of conduct, which is a set of guidelines on how I want my actors to be on set. So like, don't turn up late on set. If you do, then you have to call or text, which I didn't write here, but you're not allowed to bring pets or guests without permission, and you can't. And you have to be sensible on set and know, because there's lots of expensive equipment around. The cameras are very expensive and the sound poles and microphones, so they're all very expensive equipment. So you have to be careful and no using inappropriate language in front of the general public. And here's the evaluation of the treatments that I've made. Like, I had 3 of them and then I read them out in detail and I compared them 3 and wrote it as a conclusion to which one I liked and what's the reason and what I liked best and what needs to be improved. And this is the film idea of, it's like a mini film idea. And I've written about relationships, coming of age, family, which is the theme of the film that I've made, which is actually on my YouTube channel, but not the one I'm creating all the videos on right now. But it will be on, I'll send a link on that channel after I do the post-production phase of this 3-part video. So this is the location recce sheet. So here's the location name, the date I visited that location, and the description of scene and why I'm using it. And here's the suitability of location. So what I need to consider, like noise, lighting, health and safety, and logistics. And here is the same thing as well. I have to consider lots of roads, so on. So there's lots of cars and buses in this area. So I'd say that I filmed the dilemma on a widescreen camera, and I would say that I'll film a landscape, possibly using a tripod as to pivot or pan the shot, or I can do it handheld. They could do it handheld. And also they're mainly speaking to one another, and there's lots of over the shoulder shots and lots of fade in, fade out. And there's lots of fade to black shots used, but that'll be an edit. That's a special effect that I'm using. And I have to consider the weather because some of the scenes are mainly outside, which is mainly in the park. And I have to watch out for background noise because there's lots of sounds, like children playing in the park and football matches, like There's football, men playing football, like people playing football, and lots of background noise and lots of pets and so on. So this is the scenes are highlighted in order actually, but here I've color coded them, and this is the color coding of what on the production stripboard, which is done on Excel. That's how I did mine. And there's sunrise, sunset, exterior. Exterior sunrise is pink, and the exterior sunset exterior is orange, like for example. And there's day interior, which is white, and day exterior, which is yellow. So, and here's the first script, but this one had swearing in it, so I couldn't really use that in my script, and I had to delete an obvious scene, which I wanted to try and make my film a circular narrative. And this is the shooting schedule, and here's the dates, and it says day 1. So I'll take 3 days to actually film this film, but I took less than that when I actually did it, but I won't give them. Sorry for giving too much away, but that's how I did it. And this is the set scenes. So these are the scenes at park, and there's the cast, whoever's in it, that scene, and this is the location scenes. And this is the breakdown of my plan. So I did more planning than expected. And here's the treatment of my film that I've written about. It's okay, but it could be better in some way. So this is the part 1 of the Dilemma film, which is in the storyboard. So the website for the storyboard is storyboardvat.com, which I'll leave a link after this video. And this is part 2 of the storyboard. And this is how, with me personally, I'd rather do the script first. Story first and then script. Or sometimes I do the storyboards, but not always, unless the film is actually very complicated. So, or I get someone else to write the script and I do the storyboard, which I did for my other film. But I haven't done my other film yet. My friend's still writing the script. I did the storyboard already. I told her and I sent it to her via email. I could have printed it out and showed her, but I didn't. But anyways, I've done it, so I've emailed her and she's seen it. And plus, because if you have your script, once you do your script, because that's why I said I'd rather do the script first, story first before script, because once you have an idea of what the story will be, you can write it up and do the script as soon as possible, and then you can get your actors, actresses and so on, whoever's going to be in the film, to act in the film. So it will be less time consuming to actually, so you have more time to actually look for actors, depending on what season, whether it's in the summer or winter. Because I might do it in the winter, not in the autumn, because it's too warm for the film. So I might tell my friends that I might do it later, or when I have the time. So yeah, and the script is quite simple, so you can only do it within a day or 2, unless there's improvements that I can edit, but draft and edit, but I can easily do it later. So pre-production is mainly about planning and developing the script, the story and the idea, and make it be better for camera or filming on camera, so it doesn't look terrible or doesn't have too many elements and you don't know which one. You don't want to confuse your audience a bit. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in part 2 of 3, which is about production phase. The video that I mentioned, the film that I mentioned, will be on the other channel, but I will leave a link after I finish the part 3 of 3. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video, which is part 2. Thank you for watching. See you